What is a podcast and which one should I be listening to? In today's video, I'm going to give you my top 5 podcasts that I enjoy listening to as a female entrepreneur. Hey guys, my name is Trena Little if you're new here, and I help online entrepreneurs figure out how they can use video content in their business. If you're new, make sure you go ahead and click the subscribe button right here because I post new videos every week and you'll want to make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out when I post those videos. Also, make sure you're following me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Snapchat where I share a lot of behind the scenes of what goes on while I'm filming videos and give some extra tips and tricks on how to create videos. So make sure you follow me over there too. So a podcast is basically an audio recording of somebody telling a story or maybe giving their tips and advice or even interviewing somebody and getting their tips and advice. I really enjoy listening to podcasts where I can learn more about entrepreneurship and really how I can improve my business. So here are the top 5 podcasts that I listen to on a weekly basis. The first one is Make It Happen by Jen Carrington, and this is actually the first podcast that I ever subscribed to. Jen has interviews with entrepreneurs that won't only inspire and empower you, but it really gives you great insight on how you can make it happen, how you can make your business a success. The second podcast I listen to is Grit and Glitter by my dear friend Lauren. So this podcast is if you really want a behind the scenes, grit, dirty look at what entrepreneurship is really like. She's not fluffing it out. She's being real, raw, and honest about all the unpretty things with entrepreneur life. So if you want the truth of how an entrepreneur's life is, make sure you listen to her podcast because she does it amazingly. The third podcast is Blazing Creative, and what really makes me listen to this podcast is their little intro in the beginning where they talk about my guilty pleasure TV, Bravo, and they just have a funny outlook and conversation about certain Bravo shows, which I watch and love. So I really love that back and forth there. And then they go into interviews with entrepreneurs where they talk about the tools that they use and really tips and advice on how to improve your business and how you can make your business succeed. The fourth podcast is Being Boss, which is a great podcast if you're really lacking the motivation or if you're down in yourself. They're really there to just pick you up and get your motivation going again. They really share some great actionable advice that makes you feel like they're in it with you and they want you to succeed also. The fifth podcast is Market Like a Nerd, and why I'm loving this podcast, which I just recently found, is because it's a short podcast, like 5 to 10 minutes, but that 5 to 10 minutes is so packed with valuable content that you're gonna left thinking you just listened to an hour-long podcast. So those are my 5 favorite podcasts that I'm listening to right now. I would love to hear what you're listening to because I'm always finding new podcasts to listen and learn from. So let me know what you're listening to down in the comments below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.